Hey guys, Catherine Calhoun here. I wanted to ask you really quick if you have ever heard of something called list shame. This is a term I first heard from the lovely and talented Amy Porterfield. She's amazing, and it really resonated when I first heard it. I was like, yeah, that is something that happens a lot. You know what I'm talking about, that feeling where somebody asks you how big your email list is and you're like, well, I haven't really started growing my email list yet, or, oh, it's not quite as big as I thought it would be, or, oh, I was growing my list before, but then I ended up switching target markets, and so now it's kind of in transition, all of that kind of stuff. Well, I want you to know that I've been there. In fact, every person who has an online business or who's trying to grow an email list has been there. We all started with a very small, non-existent list at one time. We all started at, that time where you had like 4 people on your email list where one of them was your mom and one of them was you and the other 2 were like your old email addresses from college, right? It's normal. I've been there, and if you're there now, I don't want you to beat yourself up about it. It's just a stepping stone, right? And you should be super proud of yourself that you are in process of getting yourself out there. That is the most important thing, is just taking steps to put yourself out there on a regular basis. So I wanted to talk about that today because it's time that we say goodbye to the list shame. And it's also time that we start doing something about it, right? And the good news is that you can do some really easy things to start growing your list. And I'm willing to bet that most of them are things that you're already doing anyway. You're already spending your time on these things anyway. It just requires a little bit of a tweak. And that tweak, it's one tweak for all of your list building efforts when you're just getting started. And that tweak is simply making calls to action. Now, you may have heard the term before, calls to action. Basically, that is just inviting people to take a next step with you. So a call to action is inviting people to take a next step with you. And in the case of list building, that next step is probably going to be join my email list, or even better, I have a free gift that I'd love to offer you. Send me your email address and your name, and I'll send you my free gift, and I'll put you on my list where you'll also be subscribed to receive periodic tips, tricks, and updates from me. And of course, you can unsubscribe at any time. So that's a call to action when it comes to list building. And it's a great thing that you can be doing to build your list. And I said earlier, there's a really good chance that you're already spending a ton of time online trying to find your perfect prospects. And all you really need to be doing is making this one little shift so that you are getting that call to action out in front of people's eyeballs. So here's what I'm talking about. Let's say, for example, you're spending time on social media. You're participating in Facebook groups. Maybe you're doing Facebook Lives. Maybe, other social media networks, Pinterest, Twitter, LinkedIn. And you're spending time engaging with people, but your list just isn't growing. Well, I'm willing to bet that the reason you're not adding those people to your list is because you're simply not inviting them onto your list with that call to action. So instead of just doing a Facebook Live and saying, hey, I hope that was helpful, and make sure you stay tuned for my next one, just say, hey, if you really liked this, I'd love for you to click the link below this video and sign up to be on my email list, or sign up here to grab my free gift. Same thing when you're engaging with people on LinkedIn or Pinterest or Twitter or YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram, any of those. If you have something that is relevant to what it is that you're sharing, saying, or teaching, make sure you let people know about it and invite them to click a link to get onto your email list, okay? It's the same thing, we talked about Facebook Lives, and a Facebook group is a really important one too, because a lot of the times, we hear that getting active in Facebook groups is a great way to find prospects and to find clients, and that's true. But if you're just, getting visible and sort of establishing yourself as an expert, but you're not getting those people on your email list, then what's happening is the onus is on that person to follow up with you, to stay in touch with you. It's kind of like if you hand out a business card at a networking event and all it's got is your name and your phone number and, like your fax number and your snail mail address on it, your email address too. Like, the onus is on that person to follow up with you. You have no way to be proactive and to follow up with them. And so the call to action is really all about that. It's a way for you to be proactive so you can get their contact information, their name and email address so that you can follow up with them. So like I was saying, this will work at a networking event. Instead of on your business card, just having your name and your phone number, you can have a little link that says, hey, I'd love for you to grab my free gift on ABC. Here's the link to grab it. There's a lot of different places that you can be using a call to action. I hope I'm starting to get some of your creative juices flowing here. I want to give you an example. Let's say you are in direct sales and you're selling, let's say you're selling Mary Kay. And you meet people at some of the parties that you're hosting, or you maybe you're hosting an event at your own home, or maybe you're even you meet someone at the supermarket. And it's like, hey, I'd love to stay in touch with you, hope to hear from you soon. Here's my card. Does that person follow up with you? Sure, sometimes maybe they do, but I think we all know a lot of times they don't, right? Instead, you can have a call to action where it's like, I'd love for you to sign up for my email list. I'd love for you to grab this free gift I have for you to get on my list. Or let's say you are, another direct sales example, let's say you're doing cosmetics and you do this great, awesome Facebook Live tutorial video on the example I use in my blog is like how to get rid of the bags under your eyes. I have 2 little kids. This is something I need a lot of the time. So let's say you do this incredible tutorial. And at the end, sure, you can say, I'm going to be doing more of these. Make sure to like my page and stay in touch, which is, again, the onus is on that person to do the following up. To have you be proactive in that way, you can say instead, if the tutorial today was helpful, I would love for you to click the link to join my list. And when you do, I'm going to send you a shopping list of all of the products that you need to be able to recreate the look that I just shared with you today. And I'm also going to send you a copy of the tutorial video that you just watched so you can watch it again when you're ready to do the makeup magic to get rid of the bags under your eyes all by yourself. Okay, isn't that so much more powerful? I hope you can see how that can really make a difference. And like I said, the cool thing here is this is all stuff that you're already doing, you're already spending time on, so it's not like a bunch of extra hard things you need to be doing. It's just like being a little bit more strategic, a little bit more effective about the efforts that you're already making to get visible with your business on the internet. That's really all we're talking about here. So let me see, is there anything else that I wanted to say about that? Oh yeah, and when it comes to list building, all of these things, is it going to be like a windfall of subscribers all at once? No, but guess what? That's not usually the way that it works. Usually it's like, I want you to think of list building like relationship building. We're kind of building one relationship at a time here, and it's okay for it to be slow in the beginning. It's really about like getting that boulder, like pushing that boulder and getting it going, starting to push it so that it starts to roll a little bit down the hill. And the more you push it, little by little, it starts to gain momentum, and then it starts to move of its own volition with its own inertia. And it's the same thing with list building. It's just a matter of like doing those first few pushes to start to build the momentum, to start to get that ball rolling down the hill. So I hope this has been really helpful for you. If you would like to hear more, I have a special gift for anybody watching the video. It is my 7-item checklist for where to put your calls to action. Okay, so we've been talking about list building. I've given you a few tips on where you can put your call to action to get people to join your email list. Well, I actually have 7 of them, and the list is growing. So if you would love to have a checklist on where your opt-ins, where your calls to action should be going, you can just click the link below this video and I will email that over to you. And I want to warn you, again, we've been talking about really easy, intuitive things here. These are 7 ideas. Again, they're all things where you're already spending your time, and it's just optimizing the ways that you're spending your time to actually be growing your list. So if you're not doing these things, it's like you're leaving prospects on the table. Okay, so you can grab the checklist, just click the link. It's right below the video. If you have any questions at all, I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much, guys. Till next time.